What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Verast, and thank you guys so much for tuning in. We hit 400 subscribers on my birthday. You guys are absolutely amazing. Yeah, thank you guys so much for the support. 400 subscribers, and I can't believe that many of you actually care to watch my Wynncraft videos. But regardless, we're gonna go on and make another one today. Obviously, today's video, I want to go and do something a bit more classy, something I haven't done in about a week or so, because, daily uploads and whatnot. I want to go show you guys some of the cooler, less explored places in Wynncraft. And what better place to start with than a little town with a beautiful big apple tree, big boy, near the, over here, near the roots of corruption. And that, my friends, is Elkurn. This is a beautiful, tiny little city, and it's exactly what a game like Wynncraft I expect it to have. It is a level 5 city, okay? First, let me get us into a place where it's day. Okay, it's daytime here, and Elkurn is a beautiful little town. There's really only one or two quests that really even involve Elkurn. First of all, you have a beautiful ship here. It is part of a quest, and it's kind of cool. It shrinks and gets bigger. You have a nice little church that's kind of worn down, but it's still medieval themed. A beautiful tower over there that's overrun with the corruption. Another one there, the Tower of Amnesia, which has its own quest associated with it. And then they have like just generic like stuff around here, like a beautiful little wood tower. They use a lot of terracotta, stone, and wood. They have some birch trees, a big birch tree in the middle here, as well as like what is this again? I forget what it's called. An alchemist station. And again, it involves a quest, but the town itself is something that is absolutely beautiful. Check out this apple tree over here. I mean, it's just like, it's so simple, but like so elegant. And do you know what I mean? So, like, whenever a build, like, there's nothing too impressive about this little town here, but it has exactly what you want in a town. Like, its location makes sense. It's on the big river that goes through the province of Wind, so it makes sense why there's a ton of ships and trade is being happens around here, right? That all makes sense, as well as the fact that it's next to a river. That's where they get their water from. They're like in a safer position. They're near the roots of corruption, but they're across the river. They have towers on these opposite places. This all like it's a perfect place to have a little town. And even though this is one of the older builds in Wynncraft, like it hasn't been updated in a long time, it definitely holds up. This is a very early game. It's a level 5 town, and it definitely feels like it, right? Like a beautiful little windmill. Another tower here on the south side of the town, and it's like just the way that it does sit on the river is very beautiful. The way it sits off of the edge over here, kind of like a little cave over there, a little farmhouse over here, a windmill, like I said. It is absolutely beautiful, and it's also near a lake. Another southern tower here that defends the town. Mushrooms growing. It's surrounded by rivers on both sides, very well defensible. This is an absolutely beautiful town, and I don't think that people rate it high enough because they think it's way too simple, but it's such a perfect inclusion into Wynncraft if you really think about it, simply because it does exactly what you expect out of any town to do. It's both beautiful, it's realistic, it's eventful. Like it doesn't overstay its welcome in the lore by not having enough. There's two quests that kind of involve it, and it also isn't like not used at all like some cities, right? Like you'll use it, there's lore behind it, and it just is where it is, and like there isn't anything too much, right? The importance isn't too high, but it's also not too low. So I really like Elkurn for that reason. For that reason alone, really. I really like this place. So yeah, that is the reason why I really like Elkurn. Let's go ahead and move on to the next place that I really like. Okay, now this place is a place that y'all have seen before in my videos if you've watched through them all, but I'm not gonna wait around the bush for too long. The next place that I think really is super cool is Bremminglar. Now, Bremminglar is in a weird position in Wynncraft where most cities, they're just medieval or they're desert. Like they follow a very generic theme, right? Like you have Almouge here, and Bremminglar is like between a design like Deathless where it's medieval, or like Nemrecht where it's very watery and run down, and then Almouge watery. It's like a harbor city, and then like a big trade center, and then Almouge, which is a big desert empire, and then you have Bremminglar like kind of in the center, and it kind of has to do the job of all three of them. So it has to both be kind of a port city, which if you come off here to the side, kind of, right? Kind of. But it's far inland enough that it doesn't need to do that. But it can't be fully desert, can it? No, it has to be somewhat medieval. So they kind of just went for a whole new design here, and I think this is a lot more African in design. Or maybe it's more American Indian in design. But I think they do a pretty good job in taking that inspiration and incorporating it into a Savannah type build. Looking at the skins, it does seem to me to be a bit more. Well, that's more jaguar than cheetah, right? I mean, it's an ocelot, so like it's Minecraft, but I feel like this is supposed to be a bit more of a Savannah type of town, being more like African, where like they hunt lions and stuff like that. Let me get us in a place with sunlight. One sec. So right here we are. They do have like totem poles like this, which again is both common in American Indian societies and in some African tribes. But regardless, I do think that the execution is done very well. These very interesting huts with dome-like tops is a very unique build style, and it's all very brown. Now, usually I wouldn't like all like colors to be uniform, but I think that this town kind of does a pretty good job at like feeling a bit more earthy for that reason. It's not trying to be a good, not necessarily a good build. It's not trying to be something spectacular. It's just their home. You know, when I go into a place like Nemrecht, like to me it seems like they're trying to show off their wealth and power and ability to build. But in a place like Bremminglar, it seems like they're just trying to build a decent home, decent towers, and they're using the resources that they have available to them. And it definitely feels lived in. It feels alive, right? You have a ton of these little stations everywhere, and a ton of like people just chilling out. These farms make sense. They grow oat here. They have melons, acacia trees. So obviously it is a bit more of a savanna vibe here. And I love this little carriage here, like a little merchant that comes around. Kind of cool. It's absolutely like, it looks so lived in, and like it's out in the middle of nowhere. You really only come here for one, maybe two quests, I think. And even when you do come for those quests, it's like very minimal. It's nothing too serious, you know? And then like their kind of civilization comes up into here, and they have like mines in here, which is very interesting. I love this little hut in an old farmer. It's a very interesting build he's got going on here. I wonder if there's like a secret discovery. And I don't know, I love these like little towns out in the middle of like unknown places, you know? But yeah, regardless, I think this is an absolutely beautiful build. Like it's beautiful in the sense that not the the buildings themselves are cool because of the circular tops and the like how they make it feel so lived in. And like look, they take a water stream from the mountains, they dig it into their farms. Like it feels so real because they don't have a river to water their stuff, right? They have a spring here that they use to water crops around here, and then they have the mountain. The river is coming from the mountain that waters the crops here. Like it makes sense. The river comes down, waters these crops over there, and there's a spring over there. So it makes sense why a village would be here, why it would exist, and it's incorporated very well into the environment. This is one of the cooler environmental builds in Wynncraft. You know, it's absolutely beautiful to explore, and it definitely feels really cool, really lived in. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I'm curious which one of the two places today, because they kind of fill in the same role where they're trying to fill in space. So Bremminglar is there trying to fill in space of this area. Of course, they have a lion layer over there, so it is trying to be more African, I think. And then you have Elkurn over here, which they both are trying to fill in the space where it would make sense for a city to exist. They add a city there, or they add a little town, not really a city. Anyways, I'll let the video off here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye bye.